Hey you guys, it's your girl Kelsey Janae. Welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey y'all. I am back with, I guess you would kind of say this is kind of like a story time. Yeah, but it's gonna go a little different route, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know how this video is gonna go, y'all. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I don't want to get into too many details. I'm gonna tell you this now. I don't want to get into too many details. Some of this will be pretty vague, but I want to just get to the point. So as you will be able to see from the title of my video, I will be talking about being in a coma and pretty much what it feels like to be in a coma. And what I'm talking about is not what happened to me. And like I said, I'm going to be pretty vague. I'm not going to go into complete details because the story leading up to it and everything after is like a whole nother thing on itself, and it's not going to fit into a 3, 4, 5 minute YouTube video. That's something else. I may tell that another time. It would have to be split up if I do this on YouTube, or if it's written, whatever. But oh, sorry. Anyway, like I was saying, I do want to talk about what it feels like to be in a coma. So I'm gonna give you like a little history. If you have not been watching my channel, I do have sickle cell. A little mini history about me. I did used to get sick a lot when I was a kid versus now, because if you watch one of my other videos, I did say that I've learned as I grow older, and as anybody else, I guess, with any other disease or whatever, you learn how to take care of your body and what your body needs to keep yourself from being sick, keep yourself from being in the hospital, keep yourself from being in pain, having crises. So when I was younger, I didn't know any of that, and I got pretty sick. And this happened in 2005, and like I said, I'm not going to keep saying it. I was really, really sick, and I'm not going to go into too many details, but it was when I first started the first college that I went to. I got really sick, and what I had, it was acute respiratory distress syndrome. That's what put me in the hospital. So I was in the hospital, and I think I pretty much remember going to the hospital, but once I was in the emergency room, because whatever was leading up to it, like I said, I'm not going to go into details about that or whatever, why I went to the hospital. But when I was in the hospital, I remember going to the emergency room, and I don't remember anything after that until after I woke up. And when I say after I woke up, it was from the coma, and it wasn't like a trauma type, like I didn't fall, hit my head, and all that. Not that type of coma, but a coma. It was a medically induced coma where the doctors had to put me under in order to work on my body and pretty much heal me, basically. And doing so, putting me in a medically induced coma would help them to be able to help my body to heal and get back right and everything. And it was all crazy. And like I said, again, I'm not going to go into details. It was a crazy situation. If anybody know me, they knew what happened. If anybody had ever visited me in the hospital, any of that, y'all know what happened. But what I'm talking about, and my point of this story, is what it's like, what it was like for me being in a medically induced coma. And like I said, it did happen in 2005, after I started my first college that I went to. And you're probably like, how can you remember something like that? And what I'm really going to talk about really is some of the dreams that I had. And you probably read somewhere, maybe some people will always wonder, like, when people in comas, are they just kind of sleep and just like in a la la land and like nothing's really happening, or do they dream? You dream. If you were ever to experience a coma, you dream. And when I say you dream like so hard. It's hard to explain, but it's like, it's kind of like, it's not like your everyday dream, like you dream of something that may not have ever happened, or something they may actually, like you have like a deja vu type of dream, or something may happen in the future, something may have happened to you in the past. When I was dreaming, when I was in a coma, it was kind of like, you think of like an exaggerated reality. That's what I'm gonna call it, because it's like everything that was happening around me, and because my eyes were closed, I'm sure I wasn't looking at myself. I couldn't tell how I was or whatever when I was actually under, but it's like you can hear things and things around you, and maybe some of the things that I may have seen right before I was put under medically induced coma. But these things, they were like in my dreams, and like I said, it's like an exaggerated dream. So, and like I said, I'm just gonna hop right into it, and I'm not really saying like the scientific or medical version of being in a medical induced coma, because it's, I mean, to simplify it, is you're heavily sedated basically, so you don't feel any pain or any of the other stuff. So that's basically what a medically induced coma is. And like I said, I was in a medical induced coma in order for the doctors to help to heal me of the illness that I had. And like if you were paying attention, I had acute respiratory distress syndrome. and and the way that I think of that, if you ever look it up, it does have a lot to do with your lungs and like fluid in your lungs and all this stuff. And I had, like, I'm not going into the details, but I had, throughout the time, I had my lungs were collapsing, kidney failing, all kind of stuff, y'all. I'm gonna just say I'm not supposed to be here on this planet, mentally, spiritually, none of that. So, and I was actually in a medically induced coma for 3 weeks. I was in the hospital. I went into the hospital. I am going to give you the details about that. I went to the hospital around October 25th of 2005, and I did not get out until January 16th of 2006. So I was in the hospital for a very long time. I was in a medically induced under a medically induced coma for 3 weeks only. When they start taking stuff, I started getting better. It was a for real turnaround. But that was the time frame that I was in the hospital, and versus the time frame I was in a medically induced coma. So, like I said, it's really about dreaming, because that's what I can actually talk about, because that's what I remember. I don't remember being hooked up to machines, what I looked like, because I didn't know what I looked like. I was in a medically induced coma. But like I said, I wanted to talk about the dreams and how they were pretty much exaggerated reality. And I'm not going to talk about all of them, because I was in there for 3 weeks, so I had a lot of dreams within that time. And you really don't know how long. And it's real weird, because, like I said, I don't remember what led up to me being in a medically induced coma. But I remember going to the emergency room, and that's it. After that, it was blank for me. I was in my dream state, and then I remember waking up, and I remember the day I woke up. But while I was out, and the dreams that I had, and it was like I was saying, it was really based on the things that I heard around me, probably some of the things that I saw right before I had to be put in a medically induced coma. So, like, one of the dreams, and I've never told anybody this, y'all, or anything like that. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about all of them, because I had a lot of really weird dreams. Each one of them were weird in their own way. But the one that I want to say, and I'm going to just give two. The one I really remember was, for some strange reason, like I said, I've never told anybody, and this has something to do with my father. I've never said anything to him about it or nothing. Nobody knows about these dreams that I had. I mean, I've told people that I had these weird dreams or whatever while I was under, but I've never actually gone into details. So the first one that I want to talk about was, and y'all probably gonna be like, oh my god, like, really, like it's so weird, like, for real. Some people would think it's weird, some people's not. So the situation was, I remember I was in the hospital, so I knew I was in the hospital while I was in a medical induced coma. But while I was sleeping, I had this dream. It would reoccur every, like repeat itself every day, and my dad would come, and it was during winter time. Like I said, I told you I was in the hospital from end of October to mid-January. So it was winter time actually while I was in the hospital. But in my dream, it was winter time, because my dad would always come, and like, he had like day shift. My mom would come at night or whatever. My dad worked at night, and my mom was a teacher. So he would be there for the majority of the time. like during the day or whatever, while my mom was at work. And I just remember seeing my dad. He would be sitting in the chair in the room. Like my bed will be here, and there's like a chair over to the side near the door of the hotel, of the hospital room. And he would just be sitting there, and he'd be sleeping, and I look over at him, and like whenever I look over, and like I said, this happened every single day in this dream. I would look over, and he, like as soon as I look over, like he knew I was like stirring or something, or waking up. He would wake up and look, and then he'd stand up. He had it like he'd have a coat on, because like I said, it'd be cold outside, and he'd have a coat on, and then he'll come stand by the bed, and like from behind his back, he would pull my coat. I used to always wear like pea coats sometimes with a hood on it. I just always had these little cute little pea coats. So he would pull out my pea coat from behind his back, and he would just stand over me and just be like, Kelsey, if you can get up by yourself and put this coat on, we can go home. And I would just look at him, and then I'd be like, okay. In my mind, I'm just thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this. We gonna go home, but I couldn't move. It was like I was paralyzed, and it was just like so freaking creepy to me. And every day he would say the same thing. If you can get up and you can put this coat on, we can go home and we can finally leave this hospital. You can be free. And I would try and I would try and I would try to get up and move, but I was stuck. I'm not strapped to the bed, but like paralyzed. And I would just start boohoo crying. I can't get up and da 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 da. And y'all don't know how bad this dream freaking scared me. That's why I was like, they're like exaggerated reality. Because I know my dad was probably actually sitting in that chair asleep, because he, like I said, he worked at night, and when he would come to the hospital, it'd be his turn to be at the hospital while I'm there, in the ICU, and he's probably sitting in that chair and not watching TV or anything. He may start off watching TV, and then he'll doze off in that chair, and I probably saw that, or maybe heard him sitting over there or something, and it was just in my mind, and that became my dream, and my dream became my reality, and it was just like, what the heck is like really going on? So that was one of them, y'all, and y'all probably like, what? But yeah, it was so freaking creepy. You just have to be in a situation where, like think about it, you're in a coma, and you are paralyzed, and you can't move, you can't leave. So to dream about it, and it's like an exaggerated dream, it was just like so freaking weird to me. And another one, the only other one I'm gonna talk about, which is really weird to me too, um, is I remember it was like the room I was in. It wasn't my ICU room. It was like the hallway, like out in the hallway, and I would be in like, it was like an enclosed area, like a tent, kind of like if you're in like I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a closed off area in a tent, and they would have like patients in there, and y'all, this is a weird one too, because I just remember I would be sitting on the counter. This was another one where it's like I can't move or anything, or can't say anything, just kind of look and just be there. And in this little enclosed area, and I really can't think of the name of what you would call it, but anyway. So like in this enclosed area, it'd be a patient here, a patient there, and then there'd be like a nurse will come in, and it's like the room was like airtight or whatever, and then suddenly the nurse will be standing, or she'll be saying something, and she'll say something to me and talk, try to hold a conversation. But like I said, I basically sitting on this counter and paralyzed and couldn't talk, couldn't move. So she'd just be talking, and then she'll spark a lighter and light up a cigarette. But then I remember like suddenly being able to talk, and I would just say no, no, and she'd be like, no what? You can't say anything else. And I'd just be like, no, and just shaking my head. And then like another patient, I can't really remember their face, but they were over there in the corner too. And she's saying no because she don't want you to smoke that cigarette in this enclosed room. We all have asthma. And she would just be looking at us like, whatever, smoke my cigarette, whatever. And like the room would like fill up with smoke. And then I just remember like, and she just kept smoking it. I mean, like cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. And imagine being in a closed area, and there's no windows, no doors, just a little zipped up tent thing, and it's bolted to the floor, and like none of this smoke is escaping, so it's all just surrounding you. And she just smoked and smoke and smoke, like she just didn't give a care in the world. Just smoking, smoking, smoking. After whatever patient over here just said, please don't smoke in here, we all have asthma. And she just smoking. I just remember like the smoke like filling my lungs, and like I couldn't breathe. It felt like I was dying. I could not breathe. And imagine being in a dream, in a medically induced coma, and you can't wake up because you're heavily sedated. And it's just like, this lady's about to kill me and whoever else is in this room, and she doesn't care. And it's just like, it was so freaking weird and so freaking creepy. It would make you want to cry just thinking about it. Like, oh my God, like this, she's a nurse. Why is she doing this to us? What do we do? She's trying to kill us in this room and she doesn't care. But yeah, that's another one of the weird dreams, y'all. I might like maybe like publish a story or something about these dreams, but let me tell y'all something. It was a creepy. But the whole situation that I went through, y'all, is truly a blessing that I am still here. There were plenty of times that my family, my folks was told that she ain't gonna make it overnight, bro. She ain't gonna make it. But that's my story of how I experienced being in the coma. Like I said, I remember like the day that I went into the emergency room. I don't remember how or what led up to me being medically induced. I know it was because they did figure out that I had acute respiratory distress syndrome, and like I said, my lungs kept collapsing, kidneys failing. I have scars, y'all. I may show y'all one day on my I got like maybe like 3 on this side and maybe 4 on this side, where they had to put chest tubes in my chest because my lungs kept collapsing. Isn't that fun? And I had like scars all up here because of all the IVs and stuff that I had, and I'm marked up, y'all. I got some battle wounds from that, just from that one situation. I've had scars and stuff from IVs from when I was sick and stuff when I was a little kid, but this time here, y'all, it was just crazy. I couldn't, when I came out of that coma, I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I had to go to therapy. That's why I was in the hospital for so long. After I came out of that coma, I don't remember Thanksgiving, but I remember Christmas and on up. I had to go to therapy, speech therapy. I had these little notebooks, y'all, that I used to, and I could barely write in them because it's like I was so weak coming out of medically induced coma. I could barely write in them. I used to write little notes and stuff, and I think I still had that notebook somewhere. I think, or maybe my parents have it. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about all that stuff. That's a whole other situation. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about before, and I'm not going to talk about after when I go into it. I've told you a little bit, but go into it. So yeah, that's my weird little story about the few little dreams that I had when I was in a medically induced coma. And I'm so blessed and so lucky to still be here, because if you would have seen me, I've seen pictures. If you would have seen me, my mom's friend's daughter sent me a picture a while after it happened, and it's like I was in the hospital bed, and my skin was like peeling, like I was a whole new person after I woke up. It's like my skin, my face, everything, all my skin it was weird. But anyway, y'all, I made this video too long, so I'm gonna stop talking now. Like I said, I may come back and tell other little tidbits about the story or whatever, or maybe write about it. I don't know. We shall see. But I do want to thank you guys for listening. You may think I'm weird now, but I don't care. That's my life. That's my story. It's a part of my story. I can't just forget about stuff that happened to me in the past. It made me who I am now. So I do want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and share. See y'all later.